So before we go into specifics about the program, a little background on what Innovation PEI is. Innovation PEI is a Crown corporation, which falls under the Ministry of Economic Development, Innovation, and Trade for the province of PEI. We're the lead economic development agency for the provincial government, and that means that we're focused on accelerating economic development within Prince Edward Island by investing in its people, innovation, and infrastructure. More specifically, in terms of what we do, our goal by investing in that people, innovation, and infrastructure is to build a stronger PEI by helping businesses create sustainable and high-quality employment opportunities for islanders. In order to do that, we do a few different things. We support entrepreneurship, business development, business improvement and expansion, as well as investment in business, direct job creation, research and innovation, trade and export development, and business attraction. Getting us into the specific program that we're talking about today, which is one of many that Innovation PEI offers, the Web Presence Assistance Program. It is a grant which provides a reimbursement to Prince Edward Island businesses and local not-for-profits in order to assist with the cost of creating an online presence or to upgrade your website to include e-commerce for the first time. The purpose of the Web Presence Assistance Program is to help island businesses and not-for-profits reach customers that they otherwise wouldn't and increase potential sales by creating a website and establishing their initial or enhanced online presence. In terms of who's eligible for the Web Presence Assistance Program, we like to categorize it into two different situations. It could be a PEI business or not-for-profit, which is looking at creating their first website, or it could be a PEI business or not-for-profit incorporating e-commerce into their website for their first time. A common question that we get at Innovation PEI is, what is e-commerce? And our definition is e-commerce is the ability for customers to transfer funds through the website to the business or the not-for-profit. Additionally, in terms of eligibility, the applicant could be operating a full-time business, it could be part-time, it could also be either their primary source of income or a secondary source of income, a side hustle. And in all of those instances, we can look at an application. Transitioning over to who is ineligible for the Web Presence Assistance Program, there are certain sectors that have been indicated as ineligible for this program, such as fishers, farmers, commercial and residential landlords and developers, as well as banks and financial companies, including pawnbrokers, payday loan companies, check cashing, and white label cash machines. Additionally, a business which already has a basic website without e-commerce and is looking to update that site without incorporating e-commerce would not be an eligible applicant for this program. A business which already has e-commerce and is looking to enhance that e-commerce would not be eligible for this program. And last but not least, a business which has defaulted outstanding debt obligations with the province's central default registry. I do want to let you know that and clarify that the province's central default registry only tracks outstanding defaulted debt with the province of Prince Edward Island. If you or your business happens to have any outstanding defaulted debt with any other group or organization, it would not fall within that registry. In terms of what level of assistance is available through the Web Presence Assistance Program, there are two different tiers. The first tier is for a basic website, including some information about your business, might be what services or products you offer, information about where you're located or how to get in touch, but it doesn't allow for your customers to make purchases through that website. For that tier, we can support 50% of eligible costs to a maximum grant of $1,000. Transitioning to the second tier, that is for an e-commerce website, which has that ability for your customers to make a transaction through the website. For an e-commerce website, we can support 50% of eligible costs to a maximum grant from Innovation PEI of $2,500. In terms of what activities and costs are supported through this program, there are a number. They could include domain name registration fees, any website hosting fees, design and development fees, which is quite broad, and some examples have been included, such as e-commerce integration, any costs associated with search engine optimizations that you're the first or second option that pops up on different search engines, depending on what keywords that someone is looking for. Mobile viewer optimization, so that no matter what size screen the individual is viewing your website from, it's still easy on the eye and formats correctly. Scheduling and booking software integration, voice technology or chatbots, if you want to integrate your social media page into the website, whether just the links and images of the different social media platforms you're on, or a direct feed that updates on your website from your social media, as well as any other functions that end up improving the end user's experience and effectiveness of the site itself. And last but not least, we can also consider logo design costs that are being incorporated into the website and photography fees that individuals are experiencing from hiring someone to take photos that will be also included on your website. I do want to note that when we say eligible costs, we are saying that for before tax costs. HST or any other tax portion of an expense that you're looking to submit to us, we cannot consider. We would only look at the before tax cost of different items. Now let's actually go through the process of how you apply for the Web Presence Assistance Program. And I decided to group this into 4 different stages. There's what you should know about before you apply, the actual process of submitting your application, then the time frame in which you should start your project, and last but not least, once you've been approved, how can you be reimbursed? Before applying, you should obtain all of the quotes that you're expecting to incur costs for. Recognize that by doing this, you're not agreeing to start the project with your developer or developers if you're shopping around and trying to find the best price or the best fit for your company. You're simply trying to get a cost estimate, because for the Web Presence Assistance Program, you do need to apply before you start the project. So you're just going to get quotes, and you'll end up including that quote in your application. So once you've gotten the quote that you're comfortable, or quotes that you're comfortable with proceeding with on your project, before telling them to start, you'll come and apply to our program. Now, if you direct your attention to the screen, there's a QR code, which if you have a mobile device, you could scan, and it will take you directly to the program page, which has the application in it. I'm going to direct us there, and we're going to go through an example application together. So I just want to confirm with Madeline before I proceed. Can you see the Innovation PEI website?
Yep, looks good.
Fantastic. So this link, I got it to take us to the main site so that you can see right from the home page how you find the program and its application from there. So again, this being the main site, there are 5 tabs at the top, and we want to go to How We Help right in the middle. And this first tab, Early and Startup and Early Stage. Once we click on that, there will be some information at the top about whether this is the right section for you, if you fit into that sector of small and early stage business. But scrolling down a little bit, we find a list of programs that we categorize as potentially eligible for startup and early stage businesses, of which there are 12 there. Some of these are very specific, but we're looking for one in particular, the Web Presence Assistance Program, which is down here. Once you click on that, it will take you to the information page for the program. This information page is covering a lot of the information that we're talking about in this session and more. So we're going to try to find the application, and that will be found at the very bottom of this information page. So I'm going to scroll all the way down, and there will be this blue button that says Apply Online. And when I click on that, it will take me to the application form, which you can fill out directly through your browser. No need to print it off, fill it in, and then bring it in. You can do this all 100% online. And again, we're just going to do an example company here, a demo. So in this case, for the business and organization name, I'm going to do JH Consulting. I'm going to put my own name, my address of the business, which I'm actually going to put as the head office of Innovation PEI, which is at 94 Euston Street, again, just for this example, which is located in Charlottetown of Prince Edward Island. Postal code. The country of Canada, which automatically fills in. And then for the telephone number, I'm putting Innovation PEI's main office number. So if you have any questions after this session, which I'll have at the end of this slideshow as well, this is the number that you would call to ask those questions to be connected with a business development officer. These are unrequired fields. For the email address, I'm going to put the general Innovation PEI email address, innovation@gov.pe.ca. I haven't filed for an HST number, so I'm going to leave that blank. And in terms of the position title of contact, I'm going to say I'm the owner of the business. So once you filled in that basic contact information, you're able to move forward to the second page of this application, starting with the industrial sector. In this case, because it's a consulting company, I'm going to say a business services company. To define the sector in which it falls in. For the form of organization, I will say it's a sole proprietorship. It's just me. I haven't incorporated. I'm just doing it as myself, so it's a sole proprietorship. Then there are some a bit more specific questions right below that. Did you receive funding from the Business Adaptation Advice Program, which is a program that ran during COVID? It was a program offered by Innovation PEI during COVID for businesses. I'm going to say no, it's a new business. I didn't receive support from that program. Have I received funding from Web Presence Assistance in the last 2 years? So this program, have I received support from this program within the last 2 years? No, I have not. And will the business receive funding from other government sources for this project? Now, I'm going to say no. This will be the only program that I'm applying for support for this website development project. If it happens that you do have another government source that you'll receive funding for or support for this project where you don't have to pay it back other than Innovation PEI, you would indicate yes and then provide some information about that support so that we're aware of where else you're receiving money for this project other than from yourself. But I'm going to say no. And in terms of the nature of the current business, this is where you're going to indicate what the business does. What sort of services or products does it provide? How does it primarily operate? What sort of markets is it particularly targeting? Some general basic information about your business and how it operates. Now, in this case, for this example, I'm going to keep it very, very simple. We'd expect more than this when you submit your application, but I'm just going to put my business provides business planning services. Keeping it very simple, again, trying to keep the time of this short. But we would expect a little bit more in terms of explanation of what your business is providing to what markets and so on and so forth. The last question in this section is, does your business have a website? In this case, being a new business, I don't have a website already, so I'll say no. Then it gets you to fill out information specific to the project. And again, thinking about you've potentially already gone and gotten those quotes, so you have a bit of an idea of what the parameters of this project would look like. So when do I want this project to start? I'll say potentially I want to start on Friday. That's when the developer has said that they're available to start. So that's when I'm hoping to start this project. In terms of having it completed, the developer has said that it will take 2 months to complete. So I will say March 29th of this year to be safe. In terms of the cost of the project, again, dictated by the quote you would receive, let's say that it came in at $2,500. In terms of how much money that you are requesting from Innovation PEI, that depends again on whether you're doing a basic website or an e-commerce website. In this case, I'm not looking to charge my customers for their services through the website. I just want it to provide some basic information about who I am, what I do, where I can be contacted, and that sort of thing. So I'm looking at a basic website. So I'm going to ask for $1,000 in support from Innovation PEI. Now, if this quote had come in at $1,750, or even to make the math a little bit simpler, $1,500, again, a basic website, then 50% of that is what I can ask for, up to $1,000. So in this case, half of 1,500 would be 750. So we'll leave it there because again, it's a demo, but just to give you an idea of 50% to a max of, for a basic website, 1,000, for an e-commerce website, 50% of cost up to 2,500. It then asks me if I will sell goods or services. It's asking that e-commerce question. In this case, no, I've said I just want it to be a basic website. For a brief description of the proposed activity, this is where you start to explain what the website is that's being developed, what sort of services you're looking for it to provide to your clients, or what sort of benefit you want it to have to your clients, as well as what sort of benefit it will provide for your business. Again, to save time, I'm not going to put a description into this application. Just remember that this is where you need to provide some information about how it will benefit your business, your clients, what sort of services or features will be included, as well as any other pertinent or important details that you want us to be aware of when looking at your application. After that, that's all of the fields in which you need to fill in. You then have the ability to attach your quote to the application. Now, I have created this fake folder for JH Consulting with a blank Word document titled Website Developer Quote. You would attach your actual quote to the application, which will be attached to this web form now. And then you come down to the section of acceptance. These are certain things that you need to accept, specifically that you acknowledge that you've read the terms and conditions page of the program, which I would recommend that you do outside of this session if you decide you'd like to proceed with applying for this program, as well as releasing your liability or releasing liability of Innovation PEI, excuse me, along with consenting to have Innovation PEI make inquiries around your business and the owners in order to determine whether you're eligible for the program. That you're in and that you're attesting to submitting the application before any financial or legal commitment is made on the project. Again, applying before you start the website. And last but not least, confirming that the information that you've provided in this application is, to the best of your knowledge and ability, complete, true, and correct. So in this case, I will indicate that I have read and agree to the terms and conditions, as well as agree to the 3 disclaimers under this tab, complete a basic math question, and then you're able to preview your application, where you're able to see all of the questions that you've answered, all of the fields that you've filled in. You can review it, make sure it looks good. If you don't like any of those, if you realize you've made a mistake, you can go back. I would encourage printing a copy of the answers that you've provided just for your own reference, whether you just print it to PDF on your own computer or print a physical copy that you keep. If you're okay with it, you're going to submit. And it'll take you to this page where it thanks you for your submission, and it gives you a service and submission ID number. Now, these numbers are important because these are the specific tags to your application. So if you want to reach out to us to ask what the status of your application is, or how that process is going, you'd do well to include this service and submission ID number in that request so that we can directly find your application. Additionally, you should receive an email to the email that you've attached to your application, including that service and submission ID number as well. If you do not get that email, including that service and submission ID number, even if you get to this page, I would recommend reaching out to our general line just to confirm whether or not your application has been received, because we want to ensure that your application has been submitted successfully, and if not, that we can still get the information we need to get that application in on your behalf. So that was the entire application process that we just went through there quite quickly, but fairly simple process. So once you've submitted that application, you've gotten your quotes, you've filled out the application, you've submitted it, you've got your confirmation and submission ID number, you can decide whether you want to start the project right away after you've submitted that application, or wait until you receive approval from Innovation PEI. And this is often a decision that I simply place on my clients. I say that's a decision you have to make. If this is a project that will proceed regardless of whether you receive support from Innovation PEI, then you're probably safe to proceed with the project before you receive notification from Innovation PEI on whether you've been approved. If this project depends on funding from Innovation PEI, however, in order to have it happen, then it might be best to wait until you receive that approval from us before proceeding. Also recognize that if you do decide to proceed before receiving approval from Innovation PEI, you would still be liable for any financial commitment you enter into with that agreement. So let's assume you've been approved. An email will get sent out to you to let you know what you need to provide in order to be reimbursed by Innovation PEI. Once the website has been fully completed and you've fully paid for it, you can submit your request for payment. Now, what you need to include in your request for payment is a final invoice for the project from the vendor or vendors, if you have multiple, for those costs that you incurred. We would need to see proof of payment, which could include one or more of the following, such as your bank statement showing the transaction or transactions, an e-transfer notification. It could be a receipt from the vendor, which shows $0 in balance that's still due, or it could even be a canceled check report showing that the check has been cleared. You would also need to include the URL for the website, the links that we can go and review it and ensure that it is up, it's live, it's working. If it's an e-commerce website, that functionality has been included, and including your direct deposit information for the business account. So that has been an overview of the Web Presence Assistance Program at Innovation PEI. Again, if you encounter any questions, especially after this session, we'll answer some in a second, but if you encounter any after this session, after receiving the recording, reviewing this information, or any issues in submitting your application, please reach out to us. This is our general contact information so that we ensure you get put in touch with someone, a business development officer who is in the office and can help you at that time. So it's our general email at innovation@gov.pe.ca, our general phone line at 902-368-6300, as well as our website. If you want to go and look at any other information we have, any other programs we offer on the site at innovationpei.com. So at this time, I will open the floor to any questions that people would like to ask.